Okay, it should be visible. You might have to refresh the group.
Yep, got it.
Cool. So it's going to be up on Facebook for those people. And of course, I appreciate all the promotional help that I'm getting from everybody, letting your students know. I still have about 10 scholarships that are unclaimed. So
Wow.
if there's somebody who you think would love to come and wouldn't be able to afford it for one reason or another, let them contact me, or you could pass their name and email along to me.
That's great to know. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock, so we're about to go live here. Welcome, everybody. This is the second of 3 wonderful get-togethers where some of our Fiddle Hell Online instructors play you a tune, talk about their workshops, their jams, their concerts, just give you a little preview of what's coming up. So there may be a few of you on Zoom. There may be some of you that are coming to join us on the Facebook group, Fiddle Hell Massachusetts. Some of you may be seeing this in the future on YouTube. So welcome to all of you. We've got 1 electric violin and 3 mandolins. So it's Mandolin City today. And I've got a couple of other videos at the end to show you. And a little surprise that actually matches my shirt. This is from 2011, and I'll tell you more about that. But just a reminder before we dive in with our first instructor, Fiddle Hell is coming up November 4th through 7th, 2021. That's 4 full days, plus you get 4 months of replays of everything. If you sign up as an early bird, you save 10%. That's by October 20th. And you also get a chance to win an inlaid fiddle, which we're going to draw for at the end of October and announce during Fiddle Hell, maybe at the Saturday night concert. We're not sure quite yet. So I hope you'll sign up for the drawings by October 20th. If you miss that, don't worry, you can still sign up to and even through Fiddle Hell. So our first instructor today is Joe Dennison, who plays electric fiddle, plays wonderful stuff on it, and I'm going to turn it over to Joe and ask him to describe what he's going to be doing.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here, and it's great to be returning to hell. So before I talk about the class, I'm going to play you some hell-related music. So here we go. Living easy, love been free. A season ticket on a one-way ride. Asking nothing, leave me be. Taking everything in my stride. Don't need a reason, don't need a rhyme. Ain't nothing that I'd rather do. Going down, it's party time. All my friends are gonna be there too. I'm on the highway to hell. Highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. On the highway to hell, yeah. What's up, everyone? Are you ready to get on the highway to hell? Or in this case, the virtual highway to hell. So I'm really excited to be coming back to Fiddle Hell. This is my third time teaching. My name is Joe Dennison, and I'm going to be teaching a class called Rock 101. And it is, first thing I want to say is, don't let this big thing scare you. It's open to all acoustic musicians. You don't have to play electric violin, viola, or cello. You could play acoustic, and we can do all of these things acoustically. And again, it's also open to cellists and violists, not just violinists. And we talk about what it takes to be a rock star. And we're going to talk about power chords. We're going to talk about pentatonic scales and blues scales. And we're going to learn some classic rock tunes. And we're going to even try to write some rock tunes. And also talk about how to find your place in a rock and roll band if you're a string player, how to come up with cool parts, how to accompany a singer, how to write arrangements. We're going to cover as much of that as we can in the 1 hour class. And my class is going to be on Thursday, the 4th of November at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I want to thank Dave Reiner for having me, and I'm honored to be among such amazing fellow teachers and artists. So my name is Joe, and the class is called Rock 101. See you in hell.
Sure. I'm seeing a different time and day for it when I look at my calendar really quickly here.
To make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah. I'm seeing Friday, November 5th at 11:30 a.m.
I'm on the fiddlehell.org website.
Oh, okay.
Unless, okay. Let me make sure.
Yeah, we'll check that offline. We can talk in the chat and we'll move on. Joe is also playing Sunday at 8:30 p.m. on an electric and looping concert, which will feature not only Joe, but my son Andy Reiner and maybe some other folks on that. That should be a great way to take out Sunday night at Fiddle Hell.
Andy is an amazing artist. It's really always blown away by what he can do.
Yep. And he's one of the few teachers, him and Joy actually, who have their cat co-teaching one of their sessions with them.
Really?
Which is fairly amazing. All right. Thank you, Joe. We'll check on the date and time and make sure that's correct for everybody. Let's move on to Marla Fibish, who is coming to her very first Fiddle Hell. It's a day of mandolins, and she's a wonderful Irish mandolin player. And I'd love it, Marla, if you could play a little bit, tell us a bit more about what you'll be teaching.
Okay. It's my first Fiddle Hell. I'm super excited. Yeah. My students have been telling me about Fiddle Hell. So it's, I was just absolutely delighted to get asked by Dave. So I'm going to put my camera down here so you can watch the business end. It's not nearly as much fun to watch the funny faces that I make, because we all do, and we just need to come to grips with it, right? Let's see. How about a couple of little reels here just to give you a taste of my style of playing. So, yeah, that's a reel in the Irish style. Lots of different styles have reels. So, this is fun to be in a environment where we've got multiple genres and multiple instruments. So, we got something for everybody, which is really cool. So, I'm going to be teaching two classes. I'm going to, at two levels, so I'm going to do one that I call laying the foundation, the basics of playing Irish music on the mandolin. So my idea in this class is that it's not just for beginning mandolin players. it's great for beginning mandolin players because we're going to just talk about real basic techniques, but it's also great for, say, experienced mandolin players who haven't played Irish music before, right? Coming from other genres. What's different about the foundational technique when you're playing Irish music? And it's also great for, say, fiddlers and people of other instruments who might be amazing on Irish music on those instruments, but haven't tried it on the mandolin before. So if you're looking to add mandolin to your repertoire of instruments, then it's a good class for sort of all those different kinds of things. So I was gonna hold up my magic document that I'm going to use in this class, but my printer went cuckoo on me right before, of course, right? Doesn't it always? But it is attached to the class description, I believe, or it will be if it's not already. And basically what I do is I go through for every type of, not every type of tune, but for reels and for jigs and for slip jigs and for hop jigs and for slides and for polkas and what did I miss? Hornpipes. I talk about how do we get the pulse of those on this instrument, right? What is absolutely characteristic about bringing getting the feel of them on the mandolin. So I use a lot of mnemonics that we sort of dance with our mouths and to get the feel of what we're going to get with our plectrums, or is that plectra? Is that the plural? But it's really a lot of fun to get a really good foundation and get set up to progress, right? And also just to like, what's the difference between a hop jig and a slip jig? You know, I'll let you know. Just come to me, I'll talk about it. So, and the other class I'm going to be doing is called Musicality, Phrasing, Variation, and Ornamentation in Irish Music. So we're going to be digging into what makes it sound Irish, right? First of all, that pulse that we talk about in the beginning class, getting that basic pulse in the music, but then what? What are the additional layers? So we're going to take two familiar tunes, a jig and a reel. And those tunes are a jig called Will You Come Home With Me, which is a dangerous tune to play in a session because somebody might ask you what it's called and then you have to answer. So you got to be careful with this tune, but it goes something like this. So something like that, and the B part is very simple. So we're going to take these very simple phrases and we're going to explore lots of different ways to express them, because that's among the beauties of Irish music, is that you hear the tune, but it's just a little bit different every time. And what is the magic of how it's different, and how far can I take it, and what goes in your toolkit to bring to bear as you're playing with it. So, and then we'll take the real the old bush. That tune. So, and there's I've provided they're available now, transcriptions and recordings of both those tunes. So if you have those tunes under your belt, when you come in, we're just gonna like explore them and have a really good time with those tunes. And I hope you'll join me for that one. And maybe that's all you need to know from me. What did I miss anything there, Dave, that needs to be said? Oh, should I tell you when those classes are? Would that be helpful? If we agree. For the musicality class, I have Saturday night, Saturday the 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern. And for the foundational class, it's Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right?
Perfect. And
so you have time between the foundation class and the musicality class to like be ready.
Sure. And your handouts are actually attached to your sessions, so people can download them, and I've got links that'll get them to the recordings. Um, Thanks for getting them in early. There's always a rush of handouts that come in at the last minute.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that's good. I really like Marla's playing in terms of the musicality. I'm always interested to hear how some instruments sometimes sound like others, and her mandolin picks up on certain nuances of fiddle. And I think it's a reciprocal thing. Sometimes fiddlers will pick up on some of the nuances that really mandolins bring to music, whether it's Irish or other styles. So I think there's a really powerful crossover. I mean, of course,
Thanks.
if you play fiddle, you should play mandolin and vice versa if you have time in the instrument. But there's a lot of good crossover there.
Yeah, and you actually reminded me of something I neglected to say, that in the musicality class, all instruments are welcome. There will be some techniques that are mandolin specific, but there will also be things that are fiddly, very fiddly. And I do take a lot of my personal style from fiddle playing. So I'm happy to hear you say that.
Excellent. Thank you. So let's move on to Shauna Eisenberg, who has been teaching at Fiddle Hell for many years, I don't know, maybe 15 or so. And she's always been among the absolutely highest rated instructors for doing wonderful sessions that convey world-shattering insights to everybody. And she's going to be on mandolin and fiddle, and I think sessions on theory and some klezmer. So Shauna, let me turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dave. Delighted to be back. Yeah, I've lost count, but every year at Fiddle Hell has been amazing. And I know this year is just going to be awesome as well. One of the traditions I've been involved in since I started at Fiddle Hell is co-leading a klezmer jam this year, co-leading that with Beverly Woods. And I'll play a klezmer tune to demonstrate a little of that style. This is a tune called the Purim Niggin, and it's from the playing of Belf's Romanian Orchestra. They recorded this back in the 19-teens, so about 100 years ago.
Distortion on this. I think you may want to just flip that original sound thing. I'm hearing some distortion on the loud notes, so trying to get rid of that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but maybe we're wrong on the original sound flipping there, or maybe you just need to back up a little bit.
Okay.
It's such nice music, I just don't want it distorting.
Okay, well, that was in the C part anyway, and was just going to play one time through it. So hopefully folks got the general idea of that. Yeah, maybe I'm sitting a little closer than I was when we sound checked. Anyways, that's a tune called the Purim Niggin, and actually that's one that we have not used in any of our klezmer sessions in the past couple of online ones, so I'll be including that. And I'll tell about it. So that's going to be on Saturday night at 10 p.m., Saturday, November 6th. Then I'm going to jump back to the first day, Thursday the 4th at 11:30 a.m. I'm doing a brand new class for Fiddle Hell called What Chords Go with a Tone. And it would be like how do you do this when you're in a jam and somebody starts playing a tune you've never heard and they say, oh, it's in the key of D, and all of a sudden you're playing along? And we're going to talk about how to actually hear the chords, how to identify what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I'll give like a little demonstration of this. Like, for example, say we were playing Liberty, tune in D. So we know that the three major chords in D are D, G, and A. And the tune starts on a D. Da, bum, ba, da, 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 da. Now, if I just keep staying on the D, at some point you'll notice, oh, it sounds like it should have changed. Yeah, da, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Yeah, right there. The D starts to sound discordant. Here's the beauty of a three-chord tune. If you're on the right chord and it's going to go to one of the other two, you have a 50% chance of getting it right. So, as an example, no, that doesn't work. So that was the A. So now I'll try the G. And so you can learn to start to hear what the right and the wrong chord might be, and then after you've done that a while, you can actually anticipate the chords. So we're going to talk about how to do that. And then that same night, Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing the Circle of Fifths is Your Best Friend Forever. I've done this workshop quite a number of times, and it talks about some things in the Circle of Fifths that can help you learn the chords in a key, and some very cool things of like how when a song steps out of the key, like a swing standard, there's actually a sequence that happens of going backwards through the cycle of fifths. So we'll talk about all of those kind of things. And I will say that those two classes, the what chords go in a tune, if all of that's new to you, I would suggest coming to both of those classes. They'll kind of reinforce each other, and if for some reason you are doing something else on Thursday morning, but you go to the Circle of Fifths first, that'll also work. It really doesn't matter what order you go to those in. And then on Friday, November 5th, I've got it as 8:30 p.m., part of a mandolin concert with Dave Surratt and with Emory Lester, who's here on this session here this evening. And then on Saturday evening, as I said, the Klezmer Jam with Beverly Woods. And if you've been to the other Klezmer Jams we've done in previous online sessions, we have a few repeats planned because it's fun to keep playing a tune that you've learned, but we have a bunch of new tunes as well.
Excellent. So that sounds like a great set of workshops, and the concert will be fine. And you know, if you miss Shauna or anybody the first time around live, you have a mere 4 months to catch up and hear it. And when you replay actually from Vimeo, you can slow things down to half speed or 3/4 speed if you want. Two very quick points here before we go over to Emory. One is, if you ordered your t-shirt already, that's great. You should have it in time for Fiddle Hell. If you forgot to, you can still order it, and you'll get one after Fiddle Hell. We got t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, and so on. And the link to order those is at fiddlehell.com on the home page, or in the Hoover virtual exhibit, or in the Fiddle Hell Massachusetts Facebook group. All of those will work to order it. Emory, let me turn it over to you. I met Emory, I think, first at the Steve Kaufman camp many years ago, and he was showing us wonderful things on the mandolin and playing incredible stuff. And I'm happy to have him back at Fiddle Hell now for the second time for the online version.
So, well, thank you so much, Dave. I I certainly remember the first time I encountered you. I think I'd finally met the person that knew more fiddle tunes in the world than anybody else. And I just realized just how many I didn't know after hanging around Dave a little bit. But it's always wonderful to hang out with you. And thank you so much for having me part of Fiddle Hell. His son Andy, of course, is the one that first told me about this event. And if the name doesn't catch you off the bat right away, I don't know what will. It's the best named workshop I've ever heard of. And but I'm glad that it's also a mandolin hell and other instrument hell as well. So we appreciate it very much, and always enjoy being part of this. Thank you for the second time that I'll get to teach here with Fiddle Hell. And of course, my background is I play a lot of instruments, but mostly mandolin. I've built a career around, and mostly the bluegrass style, a little bit of jazz and some other things. But one of the most often talked about subjects or asked about subjects in my field of mandolin is speed. And speed is a wonderful thing, but it's a very scary thing. So we are going to tackle that subject here at Fiddle Hell this time. And the first of those sessions, and I'm going to check my time with you, Dave, while I got you here. That's scheduled for Thursday, November 4th at 5:30 p.m. is what I have for that one. And I'm sure he'll raise his hand if that's different. But at that time, we will conduct a class talking about combining speed and clarity. Now, two elusive subjects for some players, but two very sought-after subjects. And we'll talk about each and combine the two. And so an example of maybe a little bit of that, and of course, we'll just see it. Okay, so that's kind of moving along. Things kind of go quickly, but there is always some interesting thoughts to share over the years that I've been teaching and performing. Not only have I had a chance to play with speed and hopefully with clarity, but learned a few tricks about it along the way, and some ideas and philosophies and some mechanical approaches. And we're going to break all these things down in this class and give you a chance to kind of take another look at how you're playing, and not just that, how you're thinking about it when you're playing, how you feel when you're playing. All these things play a large part in how fast you can play, and at the same time how the clarity as well, or the control. It's quite an interesting subject. I've been developing some new ideas and philosophies about this over the last few years that I haven't taught yet, except to individual students. So I'm interested to share that with you guys here at this particular class. So that'll be fun when we tackle that one. There is a mandolin concert, of course, on the Friday night there, 8:30, and I get to be part of a great evening of that, and that was fun last time. And I enjoy sitting here listening to the other players as much as doing anything myself. So we certainly get a treat as well as participating. Then I believe it will be on Sunday, November 7th at 11:30 a.m. Is what I have for that. Okay, I got the nod, so we're all good for that. A very creative class for mandolin that I really enjoy teaching and enjoy doing when I play, and that is creative backup and ideas to support other players and melodies and such. This instrument can do many things, and of course, for an old boy down in Virginia, there I came from, you play bluegrass for a long time, but then when you start to experience other musics of the world and other styles and other players, other approaches, you start to realize that music is a widely encompassing thing, and some of these ideas can make their way into your playing, and you can use them for mandolin, borrow them from others, and put them in your mandolin playing. But music is a very layered thing. You have a melody and you have a background, but there are areas in between those two when you can do a little bit more than just chop or play rhythm. You can add colors, you can add other effects, things to support the melody. We'll look at all that stuff and kind of have fun exploring some different approaches, and hopefully by the end of that you'll be thinking about your playing a little bit more in depth and excuse me, a little bit more all-encompassing. So it might make it more fun for you, and it might make it more pleasing for everybody you play with. And that's always fun. But always great to be part of Fiddle Hell, and really appreciate it, Dave, and always looking forward to it and sharing the time with everybody.
That's great. Thank you. And Cindy just posted, I've heard wonderful reviews of Emory's teaching, which is certainly true. And Kim Harris answered on Facebook, it's calming, fun, and so informative. I think what we have in common across everybody on this Zoom call today is they're great teachers as well as being great players. And I think one of the things Fiddle Hell has always been known for is having really great sessions. They're hands-on where people are really learning things. So a little interlude here. I'm wearing a shirt that says I survived Fiddle Hell. If I back up a little bit, you can see this was from 2011, so 10 years ago, back when there were just 30 instructors. And if you look at it, it looks like the headstock of a very strange fiddle. And it turns out that that's the, quote, voodoo fiddle, named by the person who made it. He was in an East Tennessee prison, and they wouldn't give him any tools except for just a very few basic ones. And he made a fiddle out of matchsticks and popsicle sticks. And it actually plays, although sound is not its best quality. And I happen to have it right here. And I thought you might get a kick out of seeing this actual fiddle. And you can see there's a lizard for a bridge with a nice tongue. There's actually a snake inlay on the side. And there's that same headstock that's on my shirt. So it's got ear flaps and tuning pegs. And then if you look at the back of it, well, he was in prison, he had lots of time. So he did some nice woodworking, and those crosshatches you can see are actually matchsticks. So matchsticks there and some popsicle sticks for the sides to give it some strength. Thought you'd enjoy seeing that one. If you ever wondered where this picture came from, he made a bow too, which you can't really tighten because it doesn't have any screw, but the thing actually plays, so that's what he calls the voodoo fiddle. It was smuggled out of the prison and sold on eBay a long time ago, and I happened to be the right person at the right time to pick it up. And I hope the person who made it is out of prison and doing good things and involving fiddles. So, as I said, this is the second of 3 sessions where our instructors are talking about what they're doing. We also have some videos from various people. They're all posted, and this one will be shortly also on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/fiddlehell, of all things, so you can see those. And this will also be posted right at the beginning of the first day on Whova, so it'll just be a video. But since Whova is open now and you can check out things on Whova if you're signed up, you can actually listen to this again there if you happen to want to. There's also a couple of workshops that are there, recordings from when I taught them before about chords, learning by ear, and bowing, and you may want to kind of use those as a chance to jump ahead. Just one more pitch for signing up early by October 20th. Among other prizes and a chance at the inlaid fiddle, you also get to come to the Fiddle Hell pre-party that my son Andy Reiner is holding the night before Fiddle Hell on November 3rd. And I have no idea what will happen then. But it could be some jamming, it could be some talking, it could be some question answering, it could be just some plain old fun. I'm pretty sure Joy will be there with him, and I'm pretty sure that one of their cats, at least Capo, who's their co-teacher at one of their workshops, will be there. So, I've got a couple of videos from various people. I just talked earlier today to Jay Unger and Molly Mason. They're making one, but I don't quite have it in hand yet. We may have it by a couple days from now or next week. But if I can wrangle the electronics here, let me show you Mimi Rabson's very brief comment about what she'll be teaching. Give me a moment here to find it. And I guess I better share my screen.
And the sound.
And the sound. All right, I've shared those. Let's see if we can find Mimi.
Yes.
Greetings, Fiddle Hellions. I'm Mimi Rabson. I teach at the Berklee College of Music, and I am thrilled to be going back to Fiddle Hell this November. I'm going to be doing 3 different workshops. One will be on klezmer music. I'll teach you a couple of great klezmer fiddle dance tunes, a couple of freilachs, we call them, the fast ones. Everybody's got to have a couple of those because you got to keep people happy and dancing with a klezmer tune every now and then. My second workshop will be about the blues. We'll work on a blues in 12/8. Mostly we're going to talk about phrasing. I find that we string players, because we don't have to breathe to play, often need a little help remembering to make a phrase, to actually take a breath, and to add some punctuation into our playing. So that's what that workshop will be about. And lastly, I'm going to do a workshop on how to get your hands around the chords of tunes. Yes, it's going to be a little bit about theory in action, as Dr. David Wallace puts it. But if you can stick with it, it'll be totally worthwhile, and you'll be able to play solos like this one I'm going to play on all of me using only chord tones. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, I cheated a little bit in the middle there. You get extra credit if you can point out where I cheated and played some non-chord tones. Anyway, hope to see you in November.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mimi. And I got another video for the first time today from Jeanne Freeman, a wonderful Irish player who teaches at a school in Connecticut, runs her own school. And let me see if I can play this for you right now.
Hi, my name is Jeanne Freeman. I am honored to be teaching fiddle workshops this year at Fiddle Hell Online. And I'm going to play you a tune, and then I'll tell you about my workshops. Tune is Good Halloween Season Tune. I buried my wife and danced on her grave. be teaching 3 workshops. The first one is about how to play more in tune. I've worked with quite a few players who are interested in improving their intonation, and there are many things we can do actually to use the natural resonance that the fiddle gives us to know whether we're in tune or not. So we'll be exploring that, how to test certain notes and what to listen for, and also how to do some particular, maybe some exercises for particular challenges and tunes of fingering things and how to play them in tune. The next workshop I'll be doing is a tune, a Donegal Reel, as taught to me by P.V. O'Donnell, the great fiddle player from Donegal who lived in Connecticut, where I live, for many years, and he taught me my Irish music. And then the third work I'll be doing is just how to add some basic ornamentation and variations into jigs and reels. There's a lot of standard strategies we can use to vary things up, and this will help get you to play your tunes a little more with a little more life in them and lift and variety, so that it's not the same as just playing a tune as written on a page, which really our music is not about that. It's how we hear it, and it's getting that life and lift into the music. So we'll be talking about some strategies for that. I will also be in a concert on Saturday morning with Rose Clancy, wonderful fiddle player from Massachusetts. And then I'll come on with Lynn Cohen, who will back me on guitar. Lynn is a great player and has taught at Fiddle Hell previously. And then we will throw it to Ireland to Kevin Burke to finish it off, so you certainly won't want to miss that. Hope to see you along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanne, and thank you, Mimi. It's funny, if you wanted to know which are the biggest styles that have kind of the most players at Fiddle Hell, I'd say the top 5 are Irish. Let me make sure that's not playing. Just give me a moment. Oh, there we go. I love YouTube. It'll just happily play things even when you don't actually want them. So Irish is certainly among the top 5, combination of Scottish and Cape Breton. New England, not surprising, because when we're face-to-face, we're outside of Boston. Then old-time Southern, and then bluegrass, and French-Canadian is pretty close to that. Then there's a lot of other styles. And as before, we'll have tracks for fiddle, mandolin, cello, old-time banjo, guitar, and quite a lot of singing. So for those of you who are already signed up, you're in for a treat. If not, please do sign up by October 20th to get a discount and maybe win something, and tell your friends about it. We can accommodate lots of people, all with front row seats. So let's open it up here for a moment. Feel free to unmute, and if there's any of you instructors who'd like to add a little bit or even play us another tune, we're totally happy to do that. I mean, I can ask probing questions, of course.
Yeah, prompt us.
Sure. Could you play us a little bit of a reel, Marla?
Oh, sure.
I love reels. I love them on mandolin.
The lifeblood of the session, that's for sure. This is a reel written by Charlie Lennon, and it's called The Road to Cashel. lost it. Yep.
Ooh, nice.
Don't play a lot of reels sitting home alone, you know what I mean? They're kind of, reels are fueled by the energy of the session, so I need to
Absolutely.
get a few in.
Sure. And Shauna, I'd love to hear another klezmer tune. You were right, by the way, about the original sound setting. When you turn it on, now it says original sound on, and that's what it should say.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very strange, that thing in the beginning of all of our using of original sound 18 months ago, where it was counterintuitive, and they seem to have changed that, which is good. Here, this is another, here's another tune that we might, well, I don't know if we'll be doing this one or not, but it's called Shifting Sands, and I actually learned it from a great concertina player, Bertram Levy, who also plays great old-time banjo, Klezmer banjo. And I know this tune is Shifting Sands. I'll play it through once. Okay, let's see. It starts with the same 5 notes as the other one, but goes different. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And Emory, I'm not going to leave you out of this. Maybe take us out with a fiddle tune of your choice on the instrument of your choice.
Wow. Well, I was actually entertaining the thought of going. Since it's Highway to Hell, and that's where we're all hoping to head in November, but that's not quite what you were thinking of. But anyway, all these things, you can learn from anything. That's what's so fun that you hear. Sometimes I like to take an old fiddle tune and just change the key of it, or maybe play it in a little bit of a different way and present it a different way so that we can hear it. Maybe something that's not quite as traditional. Here's an old one here.
Very nice. Very nice cross-picking in there. Well, folks who are listening right now on Zoom or on Facebook or later on on YouTube. That's a look at some of our sterling and wonderful people who are going to be teaching mandolin, as well as a few other things at Fiddle Hell coming up November 4th through 7th, 2021. Can you believe that? And of course, April we are online again, but November 2022, November 3rd through 6th, we are very much planning to be in person. So we'll be online for a while, and that's got a lot of advantages, but we're hoping to get back together in just about a year. That'll be great. So thanks for joining us. Tune in for session 3 of this next Sunday. That's October 24th, same time. And in terms of prepping for Fiddle Hell, you don't have to do too much. Relax. If you miss something, you can always replay it. They're wonderful teachers. You can bounce around. You'll have front row seats everywhere. And you know that the Hoover platform, if you've been there before, is a way to see exhibits, talk to people, set up meetings, have a good time. It's not just a bunch of Zoom links. So see you very soon in Fiddle Hell. And thanks again to Joe, who started out, Joe Dennison, Emory Lester, Marla Fibish, Shauna Eisenberg, and our 2 video folks, Mimi Rabson and Jeanne Freeman. Thanks. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you in hell.